Welcome to the Loyal Locals podcast. This is episode 46. To Tacoma We Go. And also to LA. But this one's going to be called To Tacoma We Go. Because we didn't have enough time to talk about it, and I'm not sure if we're going to do a podcast before. So that's what we're going to call it. Mr. Drew Stack, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? We got multiple cities coming up. It felt like we were home for forever. And now we're on the road again. So
on the road again.
Yeah, on the road again. Just can't wait to get to Tacoma again.
I feel like I should have put that song up somewhere on here, but yeah.
Get 3 points again.
Yeah.
Come on home again.
Hey, Steve Brokoff, how are you, man? Hey, your mic is off or something. Oh no. We're already starting episode 4.
There we go. I don't know how it got muted, but I don't know. I was gonna say your energy and this like brought me back to life after that loss. So I appreciate you, Jerry. I appreciate you.
That's what I'm here for, guys. Yay! No, hey, listen. We're gonna talk about obviously losing to Phoenix. We have to talk about it. I don't like talking about losses, but at the same time, let's look at this as a positive thing, and I'll tell you why. I'm sure people here are like, "What?" Don't tune out. I promise. It's gonna be a good, good conversation.
So much, I love you so much.
It will be a good conversation today. I promise you. All 2 of you that are here right now live. If you're listening to us and we're in your ear right now, thank you for joining us. As always, the 3 of us here are very happy to have you.
They got used to Thursdays, Jerry. They're not used to Tuesdays again.
Oh, that's what it is.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, we're messing with everybody's schedule, but you know what?
That's all right.
It's our schedule, ours is messed up too. So, but let's be together messed up. Let's just be messed up together. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Nick, yes, you're on board. Good. Glad to have you on, man. So, guys, we have a thing we do here. We drink some beers at the beginning, middle, and end of the podcast, but we talk about it right at the beginning. I'm not drinking beer today. I'm actually having something a little different. I wanted to mix it up, and it's actually really hot right here in my office / garage, and it's actually just a hot night altogether in San Diego, in Spring Valley specifically. But I'm having what we call a paloma. Do you guys know what a paloma is?
Oh yeah.
So
it's grapefruit juice.
Yeah. So I mix. I didn't quite have grapefruit, so I just got some squirt, right, and then some tequila and some lime in there, and I just threw some tahini in there too. I wanted to do a little Drew today and be fancy schmancy.
Oh, there you go.
What are you having?
Great minds think alike. Awesome. Changing it. I've got some Sazerac rye whiskey here to a splash of this.
Ooh.
I just came from doing a trivia night with a few loyal local locals, very close to my house. We were able to go do trivia just around the corner at Newtopia. Juneshine's where Ballast Point used to be, if you do want to check that out. But Newtopia cidery. So I'm also having cider after my whiskey, which is
nice.
Chimea River, one of the better names.
Newtopia, is that a new spot?
Right.
Yeah, it's been there for a while. It's just right off of Carroll Canyon there, or Carroll Road, sorry. Right off of the 15. You go off there just to the right, and there's a sweet little cidery, and it is delicious. Some of the better cider I've had.
They also have a San Marcos location.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
they have a
okay.
San Marcos location as well. And it's super
cool. Yeah, nowhere near me. Cool, that's rad.
They started over here in Scripps, and they've started branching out real quick because it's just really popular. People love it. It's great, and it was packed tonight with people doing trivia and drinking the cider. So cider it is. They also have one called Seltzer Boy, which I think is really funny. BOI, which kind of feels like how I drink I feel like a seltzer boy when I drink a seltzer. So plug Newtopia, thanks to those guys. We left him with a scarf tonight too. Travis hooked him up, so good friends.
Oh, of course. Oh, thank you, Drew. Sorry, I said of course to Steve because Steve's showing us now he's having some Pure Project. Yes. Formless Reflections.
Yeah, project up here in Vista that is literally the closest brewery to my house. Has opened fairly recently, but what just happened this week is they opened their inside. They have been remodeling. Mm-hmm. They have a plethora of beer on tap and a plethora of cans. And I'm very thankful for this new venture that is close to my house because I feel like I'm going to go there a lot.
Brewery. They're very sustainable.
There's Formless Reflections by Pure Project. Yeah, they just have such a good mentality about how they want to do things. I'm so happy to support them. So cheers, everybody listening and watching.
Cheers.
They have such pretty cans. And that one's simple, but it's gorgeous. They just
Pure?
do such a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Their cans are
They're
the best.
amazing. What was I going to? I was going to say something about something, and now I forgot. I'm completely lost. Oh, can somebody please, like, that's here? Can you guys tweet that we're live, because we have very little amount of people right now. I think it's because we threw everybody off. Yes, we are recording on a Tuesday. We have a Thursday game, guys. Of course, we're going to record on a Tuesday.
You can't record on Thursday.
No, I can't record on Thursday. We're going to be at actually, we'll tell you guys where we're going to be. We're going to be at in Rancho Penasquitos. We're going to be at Naughty Barrel. We'll give you guys some information about that and our watch party. We are going to talk about, obviously, this Phoenix game, but most importantly, get you ready for Tacoma and for LA, who we are very disappointed we cannot go to. We tried. We're going to have, that was actually going to be our next bus trip, guys, and we can't do it because they said, nah, we ain't having nobody. Not even their own fans, which, technically, they don't really show up anyways. So I guess that's why they decided it was unfair to them to have, 50 plus of us go down and, have 2 or 3 of their fans there, and it wouldn't be fair. So it is what it is. Whatever.
Be like Orange County again.
So. You're going to need to fill me in on this. I watched it. Yes. But how did it go in the stands against Phoenix? Obviously, going into this one, we knew it wasn't going to be an easy task to take out the leading team right now in the Pacific Division. We know that Phoenix is a great team, and we knew it was just going to be tough for us, and it showed up. And then I'm going to tell you guys right now, I don't think that I was expecting our team to play as poorly as they did. And so, I mean, that might just be me. Let's talk about it. First of all, before we get into what happened on the field, how did it go in the stands? How was everybody feeling that day? Because it was also Pride Night, so it had to have been fun, right? I mean, looked like a lot of fun walking in, too.
Yeah. There was a lot of fun. The parking lot was kind of slow, as we have seen, but then it got going, and that was pretty to see as well. The march was lively and pretty rad. I think we did a better job of kind of conducting the march. We gotten some feedback from the survey that we talked about on the last podcast, that the drums and kind of the capos, the leader, the chant leaders were a little too spread out. So we kind of condensed the march by slowing things down a little bit. I think that worked pretty well. In the stands, I mean, as always, we gave it all. We gave it all for 90 minutes. There was an incident, but we are still talking about that internally and on the side. But I will say that overall, we did what we did. We did our all, and we just didn't end up on the 9-game to make that a 10-game streak. It sucks to hear. It sucks to have been there, but you know what? You got to also kind of look back and say 9 games unbeaten. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty good, especially with the way that we started out. So that absolutely, we'll take that as I'll take the 9, lose-less streak as a win. And of course, I had to stop with Phoenix. I mean, and that's just the way that this relationship has gone so far. And can we talk about what? I actually have no idea what you're talking about, the incident. Can we not talk about it?
Well, I will say, just pregame, shout out Rainbow Loyal, Espen, and kind of the coalition of Pride that came around as well. Thank you to everyone from the trans group and the Pride groups that were there. It was really cool to have multiple representation from various groups that are invested in this and really want to see a culture of sport and celebration of people being able to, be out and proud and in a way that's not questioned and is normal, right? And that's the goal here. So it was have a night celebration of that, but also have a groundbreaking moment for them as well to kick off and get their scarves going, as well as try tie into the bigger community, which is nice. But in terms of the actual gameplay, it played out pretty rough, with that early goal on, right? And so I think our fan base felt like, hey, it's one of those things where you're hoping that you come back like we did against Orange County, and you just weren't finding as many answers as you wanted, and so there was frustration that boiled over at a certain point. But I'll let Steve kind of butt in here because he had a better view to it than I did from my point in the section. But it's one of those things where the night just felt a little bit weird after halftime, where you felt like we're going to come back, it's going to happen, but then it just kept coming up short, just a little bit here and there, and I think just people got really frustrated generally.
Dude, honestly, that march in looked like so much fun. Sorry that I'm bringing that up right now. I'm reading some of the comments.
Really well. Yeah, and that's one of the things where pregame I think worked really well from the feedback was Taylor and I tried to walk slower, leading the march with the flag. That was kind of an intention to say, I told him wedding processional, and that worked pretty well actually. So as I said, it got frustrating.
Yeah, that really did work.
Yeah. You never felt like you were away from the chants. I think anybody who was in the group felt like you could hear it up until about right when we were kind of pouring into the stands, which is really hard because you're cascading downward, and the way that sound waves move, it's hard to hear. But other than that, it was really a good, condensed Steve march. I think everybody did a great job of staying together, listening for the drums, not moving too fast, slowing it down as we went through certain phases. But looked really great. And as Jerry said, he experienced it externally. So I think that's kind of the way you want it to be, is as opposed to being stringy where you see groups of people kind of running from one point to the other. You really want to have it be a consistent mass of people moving.
Well, you know what, too, is you're mentioning that after the second half, there was a feeling of like, yes, we're gonna come back, we're gonna tie this. I can tell you from being on the other side of a screen watching it, it felt the same way. So I think we were all on board with that. There was a certain feeling like, okay, we're gonna come back. This is gonna be a comeback. This has to be a comeback. It felt like it was going there, and it just never quite got there. It never quite got there. And if we get into some of the stats, which I almost hate to do, because there's no reason why we shouldn't have done better, or at least put one in. But here's the thing also, you look at the stats, and we didn't get very many, if any, on target, guys. Like, there was a lot of shots, there was a few opportunities, but nothing concrete, nothing solid that I can say, oh yeah, like we were in it. How did you guys see it in the
Yeah, thanks. I was gonna say, I kind of feel like we had possession, but we didn't have any possession with purpose. Possession without purpose is not, you're just passing the ball back and forth laterally. We had not a whole lot of chances, like maybe one or two. I remember I did go back and watch the game, kind of in the background when I was watching my kid, and it just kind of felt like we just had possession. We kind of controlled the game, but it didn't really feel like control mattered. You know what I mean? Like, we played at our tempo, but they also kind of dictated when we were able to do things, and then they pressed when they wanted to. It was just kind of a different game than we had before. Obviously, that early goal that they had really changed things, because it kind of let them sit back and say, "You guys want possession? Go for it. You can't score."
It was a weird goal too.
We're gonna put back. We're gonna put two defensive midfielders. It was a terrible goal. It was a terrible goal. It just kind of like, they got a cheap one on us, and they just sat back and let us kind of dig the ball around, and we didn't have it. We didn't have that creativity. We didn't have anything to really break them down, and that can be really hard. I mean, you guys know. And honestly, it just kind of feels like one of those where it's just soccer. It just happens. The opponent gets an early goal, they back, and you can't break them in. You can't break them down. You can't get that goal, and it's over. By 90 minutes, you try, and it's over. And it sucks. Gianni mentioned 0 goals on shot, 0 shots on goal. I'm sorry, was frustrating. I agree. It is frustrating, but you're kind of like you get the ball at the top of the box. You try to find space, can't. You pass backwards, did not lose possession, and all of a sudden it's 5 minutes later, it's 10 minutes later, it's 15 minutes later, 10 minutes later, and then all of a sudden you find yourself down, still 1-0, 10 minutes left, and you just can't get out of that hole. I don't think we played terrible, but I don't think we played well. It's just kind of one of those frustrating matches. It's just kind of one of those frustrating matches that you have where they get a really, really cheap goal, and then you try to break them down, and it's over by 90 minutes.
Check this out. So I was right. It's actually 0 shots on goal, 70.4% possession to us. They only had 29.6%. And like you said, Steve, it's not what it's not about having possession. It's about what you do with it. Phoenix Rising was able to get, with only 29.6% of possession, we're able to get 18 shots off, 6 of them on target. With our 70 whatever, we had 5 shots and none of them were on target. That's ridiculous. Those numbers are dumb. Like, what were we doing? Also, why is it that every start against Phoenix is so rocky? These guys are either their mentality is not where it needs to be. There is something about San Diego Loyal's mentality against Phoenix that is just not right, man. Like, they just do not seem like themselves at all. They almost look like deer caught in headlights. The moment that the whistle is blown to start the match, it's like, oh my gosh, what do we do? It's like they forget to play like right away, and they get better obviously after a few minutes of getting in there, but it's so frustrating to see that it doesn't happen. I haven't seen it honestly, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen them be that way at the beginning on every single match against any other team. It's always against Phoenix, and I almost want to get rid of this whole rivalry crap, because it's not a rivalry until we start beating them. Like, that's in my head, and that's just and that's not talking on behalf of anybody at all but myself. I won't see it anymore as a rivalry until we can consistently compete and beat them. And right now we're not competing. Like, even though our records are what they are, we need to give it some more time, and I don't feel comfortable just yet calling it a rivalry. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that's where I'm at.
There's something to that. I think we have to maybe steal something from them, maybe make them hurt a little bit before we can call it a rivalry. So far, we've made them hurt in certain ways, but never really cost them anything. No. Right? We haven't cost them the playoffs. We haven't cost them advancement in the playoffs. Right? We haven't handed them a playoff loss. New Mexico, even in them, had a game in the playoffs that feels a little bit more heightened than where we're at yet with them. So I don't disagree. Some of their players said a similar thing to one of their independent reporters, but very much a team-focused reporter that I read today, that I was like, you know what, they're not wrong. From their angle, they said the rivalry is more from us than them, and they're not wrong. They're the dragon we're chasing in USL to some degree, to say, hey, we have to, if we want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and they've been statistically the best during the regular season. So you have to throw that away, and as you said, maybe just do away with the juju, just get rid of it all, and just say, hey, this is just a game like any other game. Play your game. Don't play their game. And I think that we were playing their game the first 15 minutes. Even if we played the rest 75 our way, we didn't generate enough chances. Ben Spencer was somebody said we didn't bring anybody who mattered. I think if you brought on Ben earlier, sorry, getting the cider burps.
Oh no!
You had certain people like Ben that came on, who I think were like a shot that added dimension. It looked a little bit better on some of those crosses that we were trying all game that didn't really go anywhere. So part of it's game plan, part of it's execution, but it just felt like we weren't coming up with the right answers, right, regardless of what it was. And so you go back and you refire, and the hope is that this match teaches us something for the second or third round of the playoffs, maybe, where we face this team again and we can say, hey, don't do what we did in that game, right? That game plan didn't work for X, Y, and Z reason. But in terms of everything else, it's hard to struggle and find something that worked really well besides our man of the match, Elijah, who felt like he kept it from being 2-0 or 3-0. Other than that, it definitely felt like we didn't have the right plan. We didn't execute the right plan. And the players, regardless of who was on there, we didn't have the right read of what they wanted to do. And even if we had the right read going in, 10 minutes in, we got thrown off and we never came back. So I think that's, it happens in every sport to almost every kind of team, even championship teams. But in this case, it's something to evaluate and say, okay, take stock. We had a really great run, but there's still a lot of work to do if you want to get into the playoffs. I think we can make it. I think this team's playoff ready and playoff bound. But I think if you want to go far in the playoffs, you're going to have to do a little more than what we did this last weekend.
Ooh, I would disagree with you on the playoff ready, but That's another conversation completely. Just talking about
I
concentrating
think
on.
we can get in. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
I'm
can we
not
get
saying-
in? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
saying that we're ready to play anyone in the playoffs because you have to
Okay.
have the ability to
Playoff ready
not
is ready.
concede. You have to keep clean sheets. We only did that once this season.
Yes.
You have to do more of that to win games. What Phoenix did to us.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, like Soapy Joe's is getting their money's worth right now because
Damn.
they haven't had to give
Promotion.
nobody nothing. So
They're like, oh, John Kempen left? Yeah, we'll take that deal.
So that's what I was gonna say. You know, in the beginning of this, I said there was gonna be some positive to this. Okay, there was gonna be some really positive to us losing to Phoenix 1-0, and that is that you all get to spend a weekend with your families washing your cars on your own. All right, let's make it. I'm just kidding. That's not it. That's not it. I'm just
It's a
joking.
wonderful family memory.
Hey, listen, really though, this lineup that we have with San Diego in this game was probably one of the best lineups the best starting lineups that I've seen.
You'd think.
And I think that we should have been able to do more. So with that being said, I want to know where you guys find those holes, because here's the thing is, and somebody said it. Oh, here we go. It was Jeremy. So he said, who stood out and really pressed in the game for us? You can't think of one. That is a problem. And I'm going to agree with him. Can you guys think of anybody that pressed, please? And I'm not just talking to Drew and Steve. I actually am asking everybody right now that's listening and that's live. Can you think of anybody that was really bringing it to Phoenix Rising rather than, just kind of kicking the ball around and trying to play keepsies or whatever the heck you want to call it?
No,
keep away.
No, but I feel like press to the game. Pressing kind of seems like a defensive tactic, where from the 10th minute on we have the ball basically. And so pressing, as far as like the quote unquote soccer term, not really, because the game opportunity wasn't there. As far as pressing, like pressing for the win, like from that perspective, that term, that's kind of different, right? Because that's more of a coaching mentality tactic thing than it is an individual player perspective, right? It seemed like they were very comfortable possessing and kind of just like passing it around and waiting for an opportunity. And Phoenix was very adept to saying, fine, if you want to do that, that's okay. So I guess, Jeremy, to answer your question directly, even though Landon in the team just won Coach of the Month, I would kind of more blame coaching than I would the players, because it seemed like they were just pretty happy to pass it and kind of dink around and wait until a hole popped up. And Phoenix was not really able to or willing to let that happen. There's nothing to saying, let Jack Blake, we just signed him to a huge contract. He should take the game over and kind of do something individual that would matter and do something, that stood out. But you also don't want to kind of go against the coaching. It just kind of felt like they were happy to kind of wait and sit back and kind of like, I don't know, sit back is the right term, but kind of wait and find a hole and then get that equalizer. It felt a little too passive to me, and I guess my blame is a little more on coaching than I would say individual players.
That's fair. Here's the thing, though, Steve, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this out there before we move on. And Drew, you'll have your say here to kind of close it off. We'll move on from this match, but if we cannot, as a team, take 4 points in the next 2 matches, I'm really gonna start questioning coaching a lot.
Sure.
A lot.
Not a bad shout at all.
Yeah, I mean that's.
There been a
I think that's pretty harsh.
Where's
myself.
there been a change? Where's there been a change at halftime though? Like to point to and say, hey,
sure, but they just went 9 unbeaten.
Distinct difference.
No, you're being too nice, Steve. Like seriously.
No, I think the players have played well. The system's good.
Hold on,
but
Drew, hold on, because I want to give you your full chance. But Steve,
go ahead, Jerry.
Just one question. Don't get into a crazy, don't go into it too much. But have you gone back and watched this game?
Yeah. I mean, I said I watched it kind of in the background. I didn't sit down and watch the entire game, but
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I felt it was a little passive, and I feel like that.
That's all I needed. Hold on. We'll get into it, because this is we're gonna run out of time. We do need to cover. Are we covering 2 matches? Are we gonna cover against LA too?
Try.
Okay, cool. Drew, I want to give you your chance to speak, because I feel like you have.
I'll spew on this, and then I think we can move forward, because again, there's nothing to take, except for we have to play another 2 matches, and let's talk about those. So, and we can use some of the examples from this maybe in that. But I would say what Johnny was saying is I think Toomey was good in the first half. Jack was kind of quiet, right, for being after that. He just wasn't getting service in some ways. The ball wasn't coming to him in ways that was productive. But, Toomey was trying, I think, noticeably. That's why he was he was the first sub, I believe. But it's one of those things where he wasn't, when he was forward, I could see Toomey making a great run, and you look, who's he going to pass to? And nobody was there, or it wasn't the right pass, or we would give the ball away. And that to me was, I think, indicative of what Steve was saying in terms of we felt confident, and there was almost an arrogance in saying that we could get the second goal, or get the first goal, right, and then level it maybe by the 60th or 70th minute. That's kind of what you're counting on with that kind of possession. And, every metric would tell them in the way that they play, hey, we can do this. But you didn't have the finishing. You gave it away in the box. I can just think of 3 or 4 different times where it was in the box and they were being cued or didn't go for the right shot at the right time and then just wasted it. And then that seemed to be the difference in the game was you had these eggs and you held them too long until they cracked. And that's, they have to have softer hands in some ways. You can't overpass the egg. You got to give the right pass at the right time. And you also give somebody a chance to catch up to the ball a little bit as opposed to trying to lead them into goal too much. I think there was a little bit of that. And, that's stuff to tweak and train on. But I agree with Jerry a little bit too, Steve, in the sense of I think that there was, if you look back on the run, I don't see anything that says there was a distinct moment where they changed philosophy that won a game. It felt like things came through. And actually what I've loved more than anything this season was the coaching philosophy's been not totally consistent, but the idea of what they wanted to do has morphed into at least staying the curve of how they want to play, which is a more possession-based attack, right? But at the same time, is there a change or in direction or player or sub besides Guido when he's come on as a super sub that's felt like a distinct difference that the coaching team has made? So not to call them out, but I think that they're going to have to rewrite the ship, right? This is a crucial point in the season, regardless, to almost halfway through to say, how do we make sure that the second half of the season keeps us in this either second position or fighting for the first, but at least in that pole position to take on the playoffs in a position where we can get to later rounds and we can make some noise. I think that's their job, and I'll be curious to see what they choose.
Hey, we almost like glazed over this, but let's not. Midfielder Haji Abdikadir and forward Chase Boone have been added to the squad. We saw Chase Boone actually make his debut the day that he was announced, but apparently he was trialist number 1. He played in the Cholo match.
Really?
Right? So he's been playing already with the squad. It's one of those things where, yeah, they do these types of things. I can think with Miguel Ibarra was one of those things too. And he is. USL is going to USL. That's something that happens. And you see it quite a bit with San Diego Loyal, which is interesting. So welcome to those guys, to Haji and to Chase. Yes. You guys, obviously we got your backs. You know that. And hopefully. Go ahead.
Before we move on, players are welcoming or missing. Marissa makes a great point. Miss Miguel Berry. I mean, I feel like he made a big difference in that last match.
100%.
What we say Corey Herzog, was a big acquisition in the offseason. And Ben Spencer, we have some talented forwards. Berry came in with like a different level of talent this year. And I feel like he would have made a big difference in that last match. It's sad to see him go back to Columbus, but happy for him personally. So we talked about that last week, a couple weeks ago, but just specifically for this match, I think he would have made a big difference.
Big difference for sure.
I keep creeping in Poway to try and find him, but he's in Columbus. He's
in Columbus, bro. Just drop it, okay? Drew, right?
Has a 2-for-1, Jerry.
You can't see it, but Drew has like a Miguel Berry shrine. Like I have a.
It's Jack Murphy, but sure.
Is it Jack Murphy?
That's Jack Murphy. With his dog.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
All right, it's time to move on. Are you guys okay with us moving on?
Yeah, let's get out of this. It's
so
like a mouthwash.
Okay, so the
Scrub
positive
your mouth out with your drink and move on.
The positive that everybody was waiting on. We don't have to see them till the playoffs, guys. That's the positive. Woohoo! Also, and it's kind of scary at the same time because we're not going to have the same level of competition. Maybe a couple times, actually. I think we play New Mexico.
Yeah, that'll be good test.
Maybe
We play a couple of other teams, but we're not going to have quite the same type of a challenge, I would say. So that's a little scary. I would, I would say, first and foremost, if the coaching staff at New Loyo is listening, it's just we're probably wrong. And I think Steve said it in the comments. There is no right answer. All right. And yes, that's fair. Everybody has good points. Everybody has maybe bad points, depending on, which way you're looking at it. And everything is kind of up in the air right now still. So it's very interesting to see how this team is developing, how the coaches are developing themselves, because you have to keep in mind that the experience in this specific division isn't all there yet. At least I don't feel it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
You're not wrong.
I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to be positive.
I'll also say it's so easy to be reactionary after a 9-game unbeaten streak. We finally lose. It's not like we got beat 4-0. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but hey,
sometimes
but
this is just
as fans, you want to push the team and expect more. You always want to expect more. So it's not like it's. I mean, is it realistic that we expect them to win every single game? Of course not. Of course not. Right, but should you expect them to win every game? Yes. Does that you know what I mean? Like,
and they want to be one of the
best
we have
expectations, sure, but
yeah.
My point is, it's not like we got trounced. You know what I mean? Like, we lost 1-0 to a really good team. We played okay.
KG and Mourinho style.
Yeah, they didn't even play great. Maybe been a little more aggressive, but
yeah.
Didn't they win a game 5-0 right before?
That's what we need. We need to kick someone's ass. We need to kick Tacoma's ass. We need to kick LA's ass.
I agree. Drew, that's a good point. We have yet to kick somebody's ass.
That, like all of this goes away. The problem with Phoenix
that's a really
good
point.
Annoying. It's more annoying.
That's a really good point.
Breaking news: Las Vegas has beat Orange County in tonight's match.
Yeah.
Las Vegas has beat Orange County.
Wow, that's a big deal.
That
is a big deal.
We should just worry about ourselves, but I mean that makes me happy. It definitely does.
You can't.
That helps.
It definitely does help us out. Sorry, Orange County, but it is what it is.
Your pains are gain. But
yeah,
no,
3-1. 3-1 against Las Vegas.
Wow.
There you go. Las Vegas Lights moving into 4th place with 16 points.
For us.
Yeah, not too bad. 5 points behind us with one.
I'd love to see us get some points from them late in the season. That'd be great. Both of those teams.
Yeah,
give us all your points. All your points belong to us. But yeah, I think what was annoying, just to summate and move on, what was annoying about that game that I hope's not annoying moving forward.
Good job, Miguel.
Our game, right? We didn't play our style the way that we wanted to. And then beyond that, I'd say that it was they didn't play as well as they should. And so that's what was also annoying, is that we didn't really get a true test, I think, against them. And so I'd love to see what happens in the playoffs, because they play KG. They're afraid of us, I think, in some ways. But we didn't play as well as we could have. And that's what I walked away a little bit sour about. And so the hope is the players feel that way. And they're looking at Tacoma, and they're like, you're up next. I'm going to take you down. Hey, brother. Hey, you're in the ring.
I feel like 30 minutes on this is enough. Like, we can move on, right?
No, we're in the ring against Tacoma.
All right, brother. Let's move on. We're facing off against who the hell are we playing? Oh, by the way, we're probably gonna we haven't cussed at all. This is really good, but we're going to, and I'm about to. Wow. What? What, Steve? Wow. No, I took that out. You know what? I'm gonna take off
I hate Phoenix.
That sound off my board, because I mean there's no use for it the rest of the season. I don't hate them.
Agreed.
I do hate them, kind of. No, hate's a strong word. I don't hate them. Let's see. So we're playing Tacoma. Tacoma's doing. Oh, I mean, okay.
Surprisingly well for a 2-team. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to call them like what do we call them? Little Sounders, baby Sounders,
Baby baby
Sounders.
octopuses. I don't know.
baby
Sounders
Flounders.
Flounders.
Yeah, there you go, Flounders or Sounders.
Yeah.
Like Flounders,
like
but they're they're actually doing pretty good. We're just joking around, Tacoma fans listening right now. They have the last 5 is draw, win, loss, draw, and they have 13 points for 11 matches. They are the only second to actually, never mind. Oakland has only played 9 matches because we know about that whole field debacle. They have to reschedule 2-3 matches at this point. So
Yeah.
Tacoma has 11 played, 13 points to show for it. They tied Galaxy 2. They tied Orange County. They lost to Las Vegas. Las Vegas stepping it up all of a sudden? No, they're not. I'm just kidding. Las Vegas is a win, loss, win. That's 5. But they played Real Monarchs, though, and El Paso and Sacramento. Now, Sacramento's not doing good. Okay, so Tacoma Defiance. They recently loaned out a few players to the big team, to the Seattle Flounders, and those kids showed up. They won their match in MLS. Are those kids returning? I don't know. I looked it up, and they haven't actually posted anything. Have you guys seen anything about that?
So what's fun about the USL and
I've
MLS?
not.
You don't know, and this is where, as we talked about post show last week, that's an improvement, right? If you don't have the MLS meddling with certain things, where they can just throw players up and
What are you
down.
doing with your hat? What are you wait? What are you doing with your hat?
I went full Fresh Prince of Bel Air over here.
Oh my gosh! If you're listening to this, you're probably like, "What is it?" But what did Drew do?
We're at Nick at nighttime.
Nick at nighttime. What?
Yeah, Did you know that Fresh Prince is on Nick at Night? And you're like, that show was on when I was a child. Am I that old now? You remember when we were kids? It was like black and white television was on
Dude.
Nick at Night. Now it's French.
He's not. He's like.
Hello, the French Prince of Bel-Air. That's a totally different show.
Paris Prince.
Very different show.
Yeah, it's a very different show. He actually already lived in a fancy house, and he
true.
grew up football.
I am the French Prince of Bel-Air. He was
A
just a
weird
jerk,
one.
really. Yeah,
Dude, Fresh Prince of Bel Air
could be
is one of those
manipulative.
shows that's just like it's great at all. Like it doesn't matter when you watch it, you can watch it now, and it still
Yeah.
makes sense because
Where you start watching an episode,
topics
and
are
you just
so
get
good.
sucked in. Yeah, you don't like sit down and watch 5 minutes. Like you're sucked in.
dude, like
the
when he
whole
burns the
episode.
kitchen up. Oh my god, I've never laughed so hard. Anyways,
You
So good.
okay,
got 2 Vivians. I mean, it's the whole thing.
yeah,
but-
dude.
Yeah, I mean, but the part of this is that the rosters you just don't know. But you hope that we can have a distinct game plan and still come in. They went up, they came down. So even if they played well up, right, they were out of the mix. Maybe they didn't have the whole formation that they're using for their 2 team for the Tacoma team. So that's where you hope you catch them off guard here to say, okay, your best players were pulled out, not within your normal system. We've been training together, even if we lost a game. We're still in a really good position here. Obviously the 9-game streak came. I think the momentum feels like it slowed down a bit, right? Between the Cholos game, between the Sacramento match. All of that feels like it's kind of not screeching to a halt, but definitely slowing down from a grueling to a fair pace, using Oregon Trail analogies.
Drew was drinking cider.
Nick Manette.
He's gassy as hell now.
Yeah, ask Nick Duffy. He was there with me. He knows this is some serious cider right here.
Dude, that's awesome. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just
sorry,
want...
no, and then my burps are interrupting me. You don't have to interrupt me.
Yeah, I
My own
do. Your
gastroenterology is fighting against my ability to make points here tonight. So I apologize, but thank you, Newtopia.
Burps. Drew's Burp, sponsored by Newtopia. Bum, bum, bum. So, again, actually, I think I'm sorry, Marissa, if you're still here, and I'm gonna quote you wrong on this one. I'm not gonna quote. I'm gonna paraphrase. She said something along the lines on Fairweather, and please go check out Fairweather podcast with Chris, Marissa, and with Alan, some dude named Alan that plays bass or whatever. has a beard and stuff. Kind of cool dude. And Marissa, who's amazing, and she was saying something along the lines of, it's if we keep playing our game, we keep doing our soccer plays the way that we have been doing our soccer plays and continue to play the way that we say this is the way we play, we're getting figured out. And that is a problem. And that is a reason why we can't keep a clean sheet. And I think Marissa said it in a lot less words than that, but she basically was saying against Tacoma, unless we change something up, if we keep playing against Tacoma the way that they already beat us, they're going to do it again. And I think there's some truth to that, right? You need to change some things up. And I'm hoping, I think, Drew, you mentioned, we need to be prepared for whatever it is that's coming with Tacoma. And I mean, 2 draws in a row, they might want to get a win pretty soon with the loss draw coming into this next one. So they're going to put some huevos into it. What do you guys see us doing, Steve? What do you see San Diego Loyal changing against this young Tacoma Defiance?
Yeah, I mean, the last time we played them, that was one of the first 4 games of the season when we were really struggling, right? We were still finding our form. Obviously, 9 unbeaten in a row is no joke. We just lost a really tough game. And Drew, you made a good point with Xolos. Like, maybe that took some wind out of our sails, but that was really only one half where we had the first team. Maybe not first team 100%. I know Jack Blake didn't play. I know Trey Muse didn't play that game. Second half was a full rotation, so it's kind of hard to say. But at the same time, there's something to what you said regarding that was the first loss the team had taken in a while. So there's something there. And then obviously the match this past weekend. But I will still say that the last time we played Tacoma, we were still figuring things out, and now it feels like we've gotten a lot figured out. Jerry, you made a good point that they're not a joke of a team like they were last year. But I think we're a different team than when we played in those first 4 matches. So I'm not sure we need to change much from what we've done the past 10 matches, 11 matches. I think we just need to play our game, and we need to control possession. We need to break the teams down. Jack Blake is an incredible player. Guido has been playing more consistently. He seems like he's found some fitness. He's starting a lot more matches in a row. It just feels like we need to get kind of that final pass figured out that Miguel Berry really seemed to connect to us. We need to find that with Corey, and we're just not quite there yet. It seemed like when Miguel left, he kind of took a little bit of offense with him, and we kind of need to figure out why Corey can't bring that too, right? He's a proven goal scorer. He's proven it in USL for many years. His stats show it. So why can't we kind of do that with him? So that's kind of the puzzle that we need to solve over these next 2, 3, 4 matches. And if we can't solve it, we got to sign somebody else.
Dude, Tacoma Defiance is. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Go. No, please. I was done.
I'm sorry about that, man. I think there's a lag, and I apologize for our listeners. Like, there's a little bit of a lag, and I don't mean to interrupt. My bad. Okay, but Tacoma Defiance, I just wanted to say real quick. Like you said, they were a joke of a team last year. This year, they're bringing it. So we definitely have to also bring it. I feel like this season, Oakland Roots was like, yo, Tacoma, we got you. Don't worry. Right? Know your roots. Know your roots. Know your soccer plays, Oakland.
Our roots were in D3, so we're still coming up. Just kidding. Love you, Oakland Roots.
I know.
It's rough. It's rough. It's tough because you are transitioning leagues.
It's rough and tough.
No, and I think for them it was a rough year, but for Tacoma, you just hope to punch them in the face here.
Yes.
We wouldn't be the first team to come in and rail them 6-0, 7-1 or something like that. Like, there's other clubs that have done this. One of them's the one we played this last week, who we felt pretty close to. That's what was frustrating. It felt like we should have gotten something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now's your chance to prove that you're that team. So you either come out and you win 2-1, or maybe, we won 1-0, yay, or you beat their ass.
Dude, punch him in the face and take their lunch money.
Yeah, it's a choose your adventure.
Come on. We got to be bullies at some point. Like,
yeah, I mean, Drew, you made a really good point earlier that we have yet in San Diego's existence to really kick a team's ass. Like
We
to
haven't done
really do like a 4-0 game, right? Like
And we could.
we haven't done
the way
that
we
yet.
control the ball. Yeah, the way we
Sure,
try and
sure,
create
sure. We have the
chances,
talent,
We
yeah.
could. Yeah.
That's not how we play,
Sure.
guys.
Oh, okay.
I know, but
We can play
but
dangerously.
if
I
we
don't
want,
like it. I'm just saying.
I know. But you
Mm.
made a good point earlier too, Jerry, that we don't play Phoenix again. We don't play Phoenix again until the postseason. And how do we like build momentum into playing that match? You kick teams' asses leading into it to have the confidence that we're going to play our style of soccer no matter what. You know, you win 2-0 consistently leading into that match. But so I don't know. I'd love to see one of these next two matches. We play our style of soccer and we score. We keep scoring. And Ben Foreman made a really good point on last week's podcast that, you know, we have a problem with defending. We have a problem with that. This last match, I don't think we did a bad job. I think they got a really, really cheap goal. But we kept them out besides that. And so I'd like to see us really be stout defensively and get some goals. I mean, obviously that's the entire goal of soccer. It's easy for me to say that kind of generically. But I'd love to see kind of some fundamentals against two teams we should beat. We have the talent to beat both of these teams this upcoming Thursday and Sunday. So I just hope we play some stout soccer and win by a couple goals each game.
Yeah, we have to move on. So let's take it into Galaxy 2. I think it's very similar. It's a very similar story to Tacoma, right? Coming into this game, the bummer was okay. Sunday match, cool. We were thinking let's get out of town and go visit Carson and root for our boys.
Be a nice warm Sunday afternoon in the hazy skies of Carson.
What time is that game at actually?
5:30.
Usually
5:30. So oh man, that would have been perfect.
Oh, yeah.
On a Sunday.
The sun setting underneath the haze.
Oh, true.
In that part of the valley where the refineries are.
Oh my god. The sun shines on the IKEA right there, right off of the whatever. I'm not even joking.
The Herbalife building.
The Herbalife
from the 805.
That's literally what it is.
Sorry.
There's a car factory and there's an IKEA in Carson. So
yeah.
And then there's the Galaxy. So we were thinking we were gonna go, a bunch of us go down there. Come to find out, well, they're not letting any fans in. Do we know why, Steve?
All we heard was Victor tried to reach out.
Shout out, Victor.
And he never got in contact with anybody. And then he tried to buy individual tickets, and they said no tickets available. So as far as we know, if they change that afterwards, that's on them. But we heard no tickets available. And we also, after Victor, was unsuccessful, we reached out to Ricardo and the club, and then they kind of confirmed that LA Galaxy 2 was having no fans at this match. So
we were like, wow, they sold out. That's rad. Everybody's gonna go watch that.
But I do wonder if it's something like, they don't get a big showing, and if we fill the bus, we could have just been home. It could have been a home match, right? We could have sung and supported our club. Yeah. Right. So I do wonder if there's some kind of a gameplay from Galaxy 2 there.
Probably not, but it's
shut us out.
It's protocols.
Yeah.
This is some gamesmanship where they're using the situation to their benefit. In a normal season, no fucking way they could have said, "Oh, we're not having fans at this match," right?
Well, no, I mean, normal season. Under normal seasons, it's into also like contracts that they have to allow away supporters. It's like mandatory.
And so it feels like a little bit of gamesmanship here from their end to say, we're not having any fans at this match.
Fans.
The 50 people who normally would have came, that are friends and family, not coming. Also, the 50 to 100 people who had come from San Diego, also not coming. So I think that's it feels like that, even if it isn't, because and I hope LA does well, and I hope their situation improves, and that it's just a little hiccup here in our road to recovery. But this feels, at least from their organization, a bit facetious when they're still having people at MLS home games, when they're having home games and things like that as well. So we'll see. But next time it's available to us, we will go up there to the nice little 2 hour or hour and a half jaunt to Carson. Especially on a Sunday, it would have been a nice little drive, not too much traffic or anything like that. Get out, get in. But yeah, next time, guys. We were really looking forward to it. So,
bummer.
We're the most bummed out of anybody.
Super
for sure.
bummed. Dude, think about how how good we were feeling on that trip to OC. Add another 30 minutes to that bus ride. Yo.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
more
gosh.
beer.
Just a little bit more time.
Oh, God.
1 or 2 more beers.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we won't be able to
depending on who you are. But I would love to see Nikki Jackson in one of these games, just to kind of tie it back into the LA Galaxy game. We have 2 games this week. Love to see some players like Nick Duffy threw this out. I want to see Nikki Jackson. I would agree with that. Him and just anybody else who's been maybe kind of not getting as much playing time or getting the field as much to add some dimension. I think the system is good. We obviously played well for a number of games. We should keep that going. But I do think at the same time it would be nice to see some fresh blood and people who are hungry to score, especially a striker who likes scoring. That would be great. If we can get somebody firing up top there. We talked about Miguel Berry. Even if it's Herzog would be ideal, right? That's who we all want to see fire because he's got the talent, he's got the ability, but sometimes it's easy if somebody else starts scoring, right? Then it makes it easier for you to score too. So that would be my improvement this week generally, is to see 1 or 2 of our strikers get going, whoever it is.
We talked about this a lot at the beginning of the season, that it's compact. It's a compact season, and depth is going to be tested. And I kind of feel like right now is critical. I mean, we had a huge July where we were home. We had a lot of home matches in succession, and we're about to have a huge August where we have a lot of home matches in succession. And home is nice because you're resting more. There's no travel days. You get treatment, but I also feel like, we talked a lot about my concerns at the beginning of the season was depth. And kind of here we are. And Drew, you made a really good point there. Nikki Jackson, Morgan Hackworth, Sal Zizzo. I mean, he hasn't played that much this season, and I feel like he's got a lot to offer. I mean, at the beginning of the season, he didn't get too many minutes, but he got one of the starts, and I think he played really well. I'd really love to see him get a few more appearances to kind of see what his veteran presence has to say about bringing it, right? I mean, he has so much experience in professional soccer that he kind of knows when to turn it on and when to turn it off. So I'd love to see him get some more minutes, but we could talk about this ad nauseum, but I don't know. I think right now, Thursday, Sunday is also a really quick turnaround. I think Thursday we'll probably see a lot of the starters to really kind of kick these 2 matches off. And then I wonder about Sunday, maybe we see some rotations. Just kind of my gut feeling.
Agreed. I'm with
That's
you.
fair. That's fair. It's going to be a very interesting week too. I'm looking at the other matchups, at least for the Pacific division. It's looking good. It's looking like it's going to be a fun one for everybody that wants to watch some footy on a Saturday. It's going to be fun. Obviously, Thursday, July 29th against Tacoma Defiance for us. But then also on Saturday, by the way, I have to throw this in there now that we're talking about Saturday, July 31st. Happy 11th year wedding anniversary to my wife. We turn 11 years being married on the 31st this Saturday. Yay. And we're not going to have the kids. We're going to celebrate. She has put up with me for 11 years. That is crazy.
God,
and I was 9 years.
Actually, longer than that because we dated for like
Jerry
5 years.
Jerry and I are weirdly a couple weeks.
Damn.
Ago. There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Drew. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Tis the season, bro. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. We are going to be watching some pretty fun matches. Like I said, Oakland Roots going against Orange County. That's going to be an interesting one because Oakland Roots, as we all know, I mean, they haven't been doing well, but they do have the potential of stepping it up against Orange County this coming Saturday. Orange County, as you all know, played today. It's a little bit further away. It's a Tuesday. We have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, 4 days break, which is about the break that we're going to have too from Thursday to Sunday. So Oakland Roots against Orange County. Oakland at home with a working field now. Hopefully everybody also is COVID free and that game will happen. With that being said, 5:30 p.m. at Las Positas College. That's going to be a fun one to watch. Also, Phoenix Rising at home going up against Rio Grande Valley FC.
Come on.
That is an out-of-conference group. Yeah, right? Division. Out of division, I'd say. Western Conference, but out of division. And RGV is doing pretty darn good right now.
Little Scorpions.
They beat us. They beat OC. So we'll see. They may give them a run for their money.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a fun one to watch as well. There's a few other ones there that you guys should all look out for. And then obviously on Sunday we go up against Galaxy 2. I mean, I don't know if there's anything more to talk about as far as that match, right? We have Tacoma facing off against New Mexico United as well that day, and a little bit earlier than us, so you guys can watch that at 1:30. Do we have anything planned as far as a watch party right now for that for
Sunday?
Sunday?
I'm not aware.
Not that I know of, but we'll figure something out.
We would probably like to look south of the 8, just because we're doing the Thursday north of the 8. We tend to
That's right.
At least alternate or try and offer different parts of the county, right, based on that, and just rotate around so nobody feels like they're ever being put out. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But our director of events will be, getting a nice call tomorrow, or all of us figuring out what we want to do. But for now, let's discuss Thursday. I think that's a good transition to our watch party that is scheduled and is ready. That's going to be a whole day of watching, not just
a whole day of watching,
not just our game, but everything, and in a wonderful, comfortable location. It's a little bit north, but beautiful and very comfortable.
My hope is that there's not a continuation of CONCACAF-ness into the Loyal match, because we're going to be watching USA against Qatar. What is it? The semis of the Gold Cup?
Semis.
Yeah.
Yep.
CONCACAF Gold Cup. CONCACAF is going to CONCACAF? Could it be Qatar versus USA? Actually, I was going to say in the final. People are saying Qatar versus Mexico in the final. What do you guys think?
Ooh. The US
they were the Asian champions, and they are playing against our 2 teams.
You know what?
So
that wouldn't. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to say more, but we'll see.
No, it would be very CONCACAF-y of that to happen, but I do believe we've got the squad to get it done. There's enough good players on that team, and there's enough good international talent on our U.S. team to where they should be in the final, as the Gold Cup promoters would like, and pretty much anybody with a TV schedule would probably also like to see happen. Yeah, to be fair.
But yeah, the formalities: Naughty Barrel in Rancho Penasquitos on Thursday night. The U.S. men's national team kickoff against Qatar at 4:30 p.m. The locals will be there, beforehand, setting up. And there through the night, really. Like Jerry said, it's going to be a night of soccer, so that'll be a fun event. I'll say that.
So we have a 4:30. We have a 4:30 kickoff, right, for the Qatar USA match. Yep. We'll be there a little bit earlier than that. Come by, have some fish and chips. They have some wings. They have a whole bunch of really good food at Naughty Barrel. They have fantastic beer.
Their taps are fantastic always.
30 minutes before kickoff. After that, it's going to be Match Day Live, and they're actually going to be broadcasting live from Naughty Barrel in Rancho Penasquitos, not downtown. It's in Rancho Penasquitos. Just want to make sure we put that out there. I said Old Town. Sure. I'm in downtown.
You meant Horton Town.
It's the Horton Town. So, yeah, that's what I meant. So, come down whenever you want, because around, like I said, kickoff is at 7 o'clock. 7. So 6:30 is when they go live. Hopefully, we'll finally be in it in the background somewhere, or during Match Day Live with our friends over at the Unnamed Soccer Podcast. You all know them as Darren and Jordan. So they're going to be there.
Human names, yeah.
They are, yeah. Have yet to see Unnamed Soccer Scarf show up. No appearances from.
It's inanimate. It kind of has its own life. I've heard it lives its own space. But they will be there. Everyone will be there. As Jerry said, it's a hangout. The nice thing is it's a little bit more north for some people. Hey, it's a little bit north of the city center. Still city of San Diego.
That's fine.
Penasquitos right off the 56. But as Jerry's saying, you can get there 3 p.m., 3:30, 4. Hang out. Get in before traffic. Just hang out. Beautiful patio there, and just chill in Rancho Penasquitos, and great service, great beer, great people. It's gonna be a fun time, great night. A lot of TVs, so we'll have everything going. If you want to peep on.
The Mexico game is gonna be on too.
The Mexico game, right? Currently with the loyal You'll have all those options in the same space. So I'm excited. It'll be really fun to see a little bit suburban, but maybe we'll come in with our drums, our chanting, our singing, and win a few people over. Maybe we'll have a few new members by the end of the night. That's always what I like to see.
A lot of opportunities to be happy and or mad. So come out, hang out with us, starting at 4:30 kickoff for U.S. against Qatar, and then we'll be there obviously for the very important match against Tacoma. I don't see why we don't take this one. So to Tacoma we go. Let's move on from the watch party into Steve. Something I did not know about until before we went live. So I have no information about this. Steven, take it away.
So I think I mentioned this a while ago when we came up kind of with the San Diego We Are chant, that kind of tradition that the club comes over. But I had the opportunity to go to a training session and kind of talk about that with the club a few months ago, kind of the start of the season. And my words to the club was, this is really cool, and we should do this as a locals event. And so in discussions last week with the club, kind of finally broke them down after mentioning it time and time again. And so we are invited, the locals are invited, and our members are invited to a training session on August 6th, Friday, August 6th at Terrera Stadium. The training session is at 6 p.m. The arrival's at 5:30. We will be checking memberships. It was very important to the club to make sure that this is a members only thing. And we also will be inviting Chavos de Loyal and the Rainbow Loyals as well for their members. They're members only as well. It's kind of a benefit for buying into what we are supporting here, what we are doing, what we are building, and to what those other two supporters groups are also doing and building themselves independently, but also together kind of in our own unique way. So we want to say that here, and we want to say reserve Friday, August 6th. We're going to be emailing out some information this week on that and on social media, but we will be checking. So if you want to bring friends, if you want to bring friends, tell them to sign up, because we will be checking memberships. I said that 4 times now.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, but one question. Are we going to check memberships?
I think so. It's important.
Steve, if I'm not a member, how can I be a member?
Go to the localssg.com/join. Thank you, Drew, for asking, because you set all that up.
Oh, cool. You can still be a member.
It is.
Wait. But it's the localssg.com/join?
Join.
No, it's the localssg.com
dispensary
/join.
Join.
Joint? Drew, don't put joint. That's a different. That's the locals. That's different.
Mankind, Grasshopper, whoever's listening, we're out here. Come find us.
Yeah. Chula Vista, what's up?
But this is kind of a unique, cool opportunity to get a behind the scenes look on what happens day over day, right? I mean, it's so
apparently
easy to get there.
Off, who goes all the time to the training, but yeah, I mean, for the rest of us, it's super rare.
I heard he was massaging the players' lats. That's what I heard. I heard he's one of the chief trainers. But yeah, he's I'm excited for this, Steve.
I don't even want to know what he did for that yellow jersey, dude. That Drew.
Yeah, I know, right? Jeez, he's the only one who has to. Like, what did he have to do? But yeah, I'm excited for this, man.
I'm just over here,
Steve. We've talked about for a while. Is like we want to take everybody to training. We want to go and show them, closely. In the stadium is one thing to say, hey, we see you, we hear you, but it's nice to be able to have that nice connection of. This is who the people are that actually have paid to say that they're part of a thing that really supports what you are and are in on it. So I'm really excited to have this day of just celebration really between us and the players. That'll be a nice chance to say, we really support you. We've wanted to do this for, a year and a half. We've done it in a few ways last year with the preseason game, but it just will be a nice kind of culmination of, I think, a lot of people have joined the journey since even last year to have that upfront Drew, chance to see the players. Yeah.
No, you're not wrong. I remember last year, even during like the peak COVID, we had talked about, could we do like some kind of a locals, members only training session where we're like super socially distant and, down at Chula Vista. And it was kind of like, yeah, we can work on that. And then it just kind of seemed like things always got worse and worse and worse and worse, and it just never happened. So like now it's kind of, we're finally in a place where we can do that. And Drew, you touched on it, but kind of the point I wanted to make is like, it's easy to go to the matches every week, but this is like a peek behind the curtains, right? Like what's the camaraderie? How are the coaches in training? One thing that I was emphasized, and I'll say this here,
what swears does
we will communicate this as well, is no pictures, no photos, no videos. So if you do come to that, we are going to try to be pretty strict about that, because that was one thing that was emphasized to me pretty clearly. Yeah, so we can't share this, the kind of, we can't share the secrets of the training, but
yeah, we can't show the
it'll be fun. It'll be super
fun. We can't
show
perfect.
Love it. I love it. But yeah, that'll be super fun. So we'll be in touch over the next few days about that.
I'm really excited to let Nate and Nate Miller and Landon Donovan, let them know how I feel about their soccer plays. They don't.
Run soccer play forward.
We joke around. I'm just kidding, guys. Just kidding, kind of.
I love it.
So what we have? Survey. That's what I have in my notes. Survey. How did that go? So hey, we did a survey, guys. If you guys didn't get it, don't worry. There's more coming. We're gonna do some more surveys here. What's the survey, you ask? Thanks for asking. It is about a game day experience and how you feel about what your experience is like, and how can the locals help make that better. We're already doing as much as we possibly can in what we have the power to do, but we're always welcome to suggestions, always welcome to different points of view as well. Obviously, we always want to try to give you guys a fun experience. I want you guys coming back and being a part of this family, because that's what we are. We're a big, gigantic family now. And, you know, part of the reason why we're going to be doing this training on the 6th of August is because we want to do more of this type of thing with you and hang out more. Obviously, we had a whole year where we were just completely removed from everybody. So now we got to take advantage that we can hang out. And that's what we're doing. So the survey, we sent out a survey to all of our members. Hopefully, if you didn't get a chance to fill it out, please do so. We really would like to get your input. It was pretty interesting to see. There was a lot of good, but there was also a lot of recommendations. So, I mean, which one of you two wants to go through kind of some of that information?
Well, we got a lot of feedback on the things we mentioned this last week, but this survey was specifically geared to game day. So we talked about the parking lot, we talked about the march, we talked about section 109, the chanting, and just kind of the experience. And then we kind of left it open-ended, and that open-ended, we got a lot of good feedback. I don't have it really in front of me to like run through, you know, overall results, but I will just say thank you to everybody who did submit your feedback and submit your survey. This is the kind of stuff, you know, that really changes things. It's one thing to chime in on Discord, and you know that's kind of really easy to let things go a week or 2 weeks to kind of let string out. But this is like compiled results. Here we have a really solid set of results and say this is what our members want. And of course, I mean, it's easy to tie in a lot of key Discord comments, not discounting what we've done there with Discord. Just kind of my point is like this is huge feedback. And I mean, we've said it from the beginning, it takes a village, and the locals are nothing without you guys, our members. It's not just us 15, 16 people in leadership. It's everybody. And we need to hear from you. And this is exactly how we hear from you. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who submitted your feedback. We tried to implement some of the things last week, but we've been going through a lot of them this week as well. Now that we have a couple weeks until our next batch, we have a little more time to kind of read through things a little more carefully and find some trends and say, well, this many people said, hey, I think the march is a little too early. I think we should extend it. And then we can say, okay, well, let's have a conversation about that with the club. We can say, hey, let's extend the parking lot a little bit further, and let's maybe skip the players coming out and have a little more fun down there and get into the section a little later, and kind of time things a little bit better. So it's like, that's just an example. There's many other things like that. You know, one of the things else was the songs. You know, hey, how can we change the songs? Let's maybe consider this or that. Or there's just so much. It's really hard to say and pinpoint without it being another full episode of an hour podcast.
Beam into my head of the songs. That was
right.
a request. Not really, but like,
yeah,
the requests are great. Like, they were very constructive and really well placed, right? Like, they weren't crazy. They weren't. I made a joke request in one of my comments that was like, I want Travis to design me a T-shirt. None of them were like that. They were all like, hey, here's the thing that I love. Here's how I think we could make it better. So great job for those who have filled it out. Anybody who hasn't, definitely check it out. And if you have feelings, let us know, because there's probably 3 to 4 people who said kind of what you said, but by having 4 to 5 of those comments, it helps it make it from like, here's the thing a few people think, to, okay, this is a solid idea that most of our people at least are leaning towards. It makes it a lot easier, right? And that's where, as we make decisions moving forward as to what everybody wants, even if we don't know exactly what you want, we can have an idea of what's working, what's not working, and then be able to lean into the things that we think might work better. So thank you so much, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, it's a way for you to tell us what you want, what you really, really want. You say, I want to.
What you really want.
I want a really, really, really big.
I want a Bum's parking lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Or,
so.
Yeah. Whatever.
I feel like that. Oh man. Okay. So one last thing before we go, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Again, friendly reminder: Tacoma Defiance this Thursday at Naughty Barrel. Join us in Rancho Penasquitos. It is a 7 p.m. kickoff. We'll be with the K, Naughty, not N-A. Don't be dirty. Don't be dirty. It's K-N-O-T-T-Y.
These barrels have not been plunged.
You know what? We made a mistake. We should just be calling it Canary Barrel. We're going to be at Canary Barrel, Rancho Penasquito.
Yeah, English sucks.
English is terrible. Spanish is so much easier. You just read it the way
it's easier. It sounds
like it looks.
Yeah, it sounds. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Vamos a ir a Rancho Penasquitos este Thursday. I mean, jueves. What did I just... Spanglish.
Come to the little ranch.
Starting at 4:30 there for the USA against Qatar match, and then probably going to be there till later. Also, there's something about It's Wings Day on Thursday, so they're going to have some wing stuff. So come and hang out.
National Wing Day.
Whoa. Yo. It's going to be packed.
Some buffalo sauce.
Rancho Penasquito loves their wings, so you make sure you show up early. Okay, we're going to be there. And then also on Sunday, 5 o'clock kickoff against Galaxy 2. We will let you know where we're going to be at that point. Look at that, National Chicken Wing Day. Oh my gosh.
We're winging it.
Nice.
Canary Barrel.
Canary Barrel. It's Canary Barrel. And with that I say, you guys have been asking. You know, we talked about the survey. Been asking for different things on the merch. There's a pack of something coming.
Cigarettes.
No. Tom just jumped out of his seat right now. He's like, what? No. Sorry, Mr.
Pack of gum?
The Locos Lights coming to a liquor store near you. No, there's something on something wicked this way comes. Can we actually say what it is? The item that's a pack of something, Steve? Can we say what it is?
I'm for it. Okay.
Drew, are you okay with it?
100%.
We're getting some patches.
Patches.
I don't know why. I was doing it with my mouth when I have a button that does it for me.
Yeah.
Patches. We're getting a whole bunch of patches. 4 patches.
If you're formal.
Yeah. Patches. We're gonna start making patches. We're gonna have some patches, guys. Patches. Yes. The last few shipped recently, so we're gonna be getting those very soon. So keep your eyes out on that, and you'll get a little bit of a teaser.
Few of them have already landed at my doorstep, but we are still waiting on a few more. So,
how do they look? How do they call?
Well, maybe if you stay tuned after hours, I'll show you.
Oh!
Are they ribbed for Steve's pleasure?
Whoa, hey,
Whoa.
stop being naughty, naughty, Drew.
Naughty over here.
Jerry,
Drew,
bravo. That was pretty good. Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Drew After Dark is like fully on right now. He is like just
Sunglasses are across the room. So I
Bravo.
that character is fully erect at this point. We have to call it quits now, guys. It's time for us to go into after hours. That's it for us. We're I think we're done. We'll see you guys at Naughty Barrel for the American viewership that knows how to properly read. We'll be there early. All right, this Thursday.
Yeah, there's a
Mosquitoes.
CVS if you have to pick up prescriptions right in the parking lot. So there you go. Boom.
What?
Get your
All right,
errands done. Do your grocery shopping if you have to. Bring a cooler. Whatever you gotta do.
Okay, we gotta go. See you guys later. Have a good one. For
Bye.
Mr. Drew Steck, for Mr. Steve Brokoff, my name is Jerry Jimenez. We'll catch you guys in episode 47. Bye. And we're back. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, I'm going to use the facilities, and I'll be right back.
Patches.
Yeah, and go get
Oh, that's him.
Go get the Patricks.
Go get the pet. Go get the pet.
Patrick is formal for patches.
Thank you guys for sticking around. There's a few people that stuck around. It's a man. Everybody's back to work now.
Yeah, I think it's. We went Thursdays, then Tuesdays.
After Dark goes hard as fuck.
It's my fault. I take the bull usual for most things. But
Drew After Dark, dude, it has to be a thing.
so the pic. Do you see my profile picture on Twitter?
Yes, dude.
It's
That's
now the
not
pirate
even-
from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, but it's not one of the ones that I posted. It's a different one.
It is the one you posted, but it's him where it's the updated version where they put a bandana on him.
Oh,
He's
okay.
he's like Carlos Santana up there, just like with his
Looks like he's-
fucking-
He looks like he's playing Sabor Me or something.
yeah, he's like
Or-
he's making it cry. He's just like I'm a pirate.
Oh, dude, talk about Santana. Play
Yeah.
some Europa in here. I'm gonna
Steve
start
Kovac
working.
and not know what's going on. That's my favorite
Yeah,
part
yeah,
after
yeah.
ours.
Hold on. They'll be like, "What is?" I mean, we got to put some. You know, it's after dark, so we have to put some like some soulful, kind of sexy music. I would say. What do you think?
I gotta go hard AF. Abercrombie and Fitch over here.
Welcome to the Locals After Dark.
Mm.
I'm your host, Jerry. That's weird. Sorry. What's happening over there? I want a really, 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 really big win. Nice.
I want a really, 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 really big win.
Hey, what is the best meat? Oh, I saw this on Discord. Everybody jump on Discord right now and have this conversation. We're not going to have it right now because the best meat is arrechera. So venison with lamb, a close second for me.
Wow. Very strongly. All right. Well,
Probably the best.
I don't know how to
beef.
feel about that. Have you had buffalo? Buffalo's pretty
Buffalo,
damn
yeah,
good.
Buffalo's
Buffalo's
pretty
great.
fucking good. Bison, yeah,
Yep.
and bison's
Yeah, that's
up
what I
there.
mean.
I just think like a good fillet on like a 700-degree grill for like 3 to 4 minutes. You can't beat it.
That's
Or a T-bone.
extra specific. I would expect no less from you.
But that's how I feel. But I think like after like more exotic meats that aren't beef, lamb beef or al pastor is at the top.
El pastor is good.
But I will say like a asado that's also on a spindle. It's been there, kind of shaved off a little bit. Either that or that like Middle Eastern chicken,
That lamb stuff. What is that called?
lamb beef, whatever the like mixed meat they call it.
Thank
Gyro,
you, Paul. That's what I'm saying. You guys know that the best carne asada is made with arrechera
Out of cheddar.
mhm.
It slaps.
by far. Is the
Like, I
best.
don't think it's close. I think it tastes like home. So nothing else tastes like home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's a great
I think
point.
that's fair.
That's very
And
fair.
that's why it's the best.
What is that?
Who's playing snares?
Come in.
Jerry.
Come in. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh,
These
I thought it
ones
was.
have a
You made it look hella big, dude. When you. Wow. That's
So yeah, these ones they're about the same size as our sticker, but they're badass. They're iron on.
Yeah.
Before
Nice.
shouts to Eileen for procuring all these. She
Shout
did a great
out.
job.
Yeah, she's the best.
And then the other patch that has arrived, I will not reveal on this, and I will say shout out to Travis and to Tom specifically for the idea. The next patch that we have will be given out to the volunteers who volunteer with Radies. That would be kind of a gift from us. And again, we will give those out to all the appropriate people at the appropriate time. And we want to thank everybody who volunteered their time to Radies to help the vaccination effort early on. So if you volunteered with Radies early on, you special patch coming your way. Otherwise, we have a pretty cool pack of 4 coming. So.
I think there was a specific amount of time that you had to, actually volunteer, and I think everybody that volunteered at least this amount. I don't know the specifics, so I'm not going to say it. But if you were there,
yeah, Tom knows.
Yeah.
Tom's got it all dialed in.
Super awesome.
Yeah,
Excited.
He did such a good job. He killed for that whole effort. So,
yeah.
I'll say that the one patch has come in, waiting on the next couple because I think the next couple are pretty also badass. Got some different edging and kind of styles, so it took a little longer to come in. But again, shouts to Eileen for kind of dialing all this in. She spent a ton of time kind of with all the specifics to make this all work. So,
Drew, where'd you go?
I'm so stoked.
No, I'm excited too, man. We've been saying we want to.
I'm going to the bathroom.
What? Oh, okay.
Oh my god!
Take yourself out, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh, I got you. What is that?
I think it's better this way.
Okay, it's fine. For the love of God. Don't go. So in case you guys don't know, Drew's desk, he like basically makes it to where it's impossible for him to get out unless he goes underneath his desk for him to get out of like the room. So that's why he did what he did. For anybody that's confused. Oh my gosh!
I commend the effort by Drew to for the background purposes because I just have my outside lights. That's my effort.
Yeah, dude.
Every week.
I'm just gonna play in Santana at this point.
Ooh, let's go.
So I'm working on putting this episode up. It should be up. I missed episode 44. I don't even know if I should upload it anymore. You can listen to it on watch it. I mean, on YouTube here on Boom TV. We should probably be doing more stuff with.
Good.
Just.
It's not on like Apple Podcasts and that kind of stuff.
No, it's not. It's on episode 44 isn't at least, but I don't think anybody's gonna want to go back and watch or listen to that. They could watch it,
right?
Just don't listen to it.
Will it upload it in? Will it upload in sequence?
I don't think so. It's a great question. I'll look into it. If it doesn't, then I'm not even gonna mess with it.
Yeah, if it will, then do. If not, no.
Come in. The moment anybody hears that clack, 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 you know it's coming.
It's like a Pavlov's response. It's like a.
Everybody already hears my voice go.
I'm ready to talk about Loyal. Damn it, welcome.
Welcome. I feel like I should change it.
It's an art, but it's an art.
Welcome.
No one can be you, so it's never going to be the same when I try and do it.
No, dude, you should try it. I'll give you full permission.
No.
Yeah, you should try it.
No.
One of these days, I'm gonna set it up to where you can
I'm
make
gonna
it happen.
change the intro song to a POD song just to make it less awkward, / more awkward. Because
Good
trying to hit
one.
the
Good one.
right verse, hear the right stanza of where you come in is like really hard to hit the right beat
Oh,
where you come in.
no, it's not.
It's not
Here,
hard,
like this.
but it's also hard.
It's
It's discipline.
I feel like you can do it. You have timing, right? Look, like something like this, like this. Welcome. See, like right there.
Yeah.
What else can we do? Is there other songs that we can try to do that?
I will say, Jerry, that that your drum at the beginning of the match, Abel was not around, and I manned it for a few minutes, and then Abel showed up, and I promptly gave him the drumsticks.
Good.
I was like, no, don't take the space, please take it away.
No, please. It's you should do this.
I don't think I did a bad job. I just think I wasn't great.
We had a couple people.
No, you don't think you did an above job? You did a below job?
I did a job.
Yeah.
Refuse to classify.
This is your job, and
No, but
you
if
didn't do
if
a job. So it wasn't an above job. You did a below job. See what I mean? So like this is the job.
I see what you're saying.
Okay, cool. I'm just making sure.
If
This is after dark, bro. This is what we do.
if Nick is still on, I want to thank Nick for Nick has taken over capo duties for the past 2 matches, and it's been incredible. He's I don't know, he's really given it his all.
He's all
I
right.
want to say shout out. So there he is. There he is. There he is. There's Nick. There's Nick. Yeah, shout out.
Just to prove a point.
You're killing it.
Somebody from 110 filled in.
It kind of yeah. So at the march we had a guy that was from obviously there for Pride, and I was gonna wear the snare in. I was gonna wear your snare in because I brought the harness for this reason to march, because last week we really only had the mini bass, and I was like, oh, we need more drums, so I brought the snare harness that you have, and I was gonna wear it. I was like, F it, I'll just do it. And then I was like kind of like putting it on, and I was like kind of looking around, and I was like, are you a drummer? And he's like, actually, yeah, I'm a drummer. I was like, oh shit, okay, cool. Do you want to wear you? Like, I know. I was like,
you.
okay, cool. Like, yeah.
Hey
cool.
Mo, were you a drummer?
Yeah, you were chosen.
You have been chosen.
And so he totally marched in with us, and it maybe took the first like 15 or 20 minutes for him to like kind of get the vibe and get the rhythms and beats of the different chants. But he caught on real fast. He drummed the entire match. So yeah, Nick, that's a killer shout. I would have totally forgotten about that. And shame on me. That was
shame on all of you for not knowing what the guy's name is. That's
no, and
Eli. His name was Eli.
Eli. Yeah, and it was 110 was rocking all night. Like they definitely like there was people standing up, getting into it, walking over, and even just standing up in their section where their seats were the whole night. So that worked awesome. It was great. Yeah. So shout out 110 for being a partner section to our section for that game, and what we'd love to see, which is to take over the East End and force out the away supporters, make them sit in a different part of the stadium entirely, right? That's what we all want. Yeah. So that was pretty awesome to see the expansion starting in 108 even too. I'm mostly on that right side, or that if you're facing the field, but north side, I guess, of the east side, and it is cool in 108 to see a lot of people start to stand up and get into it too, and then kind of encourage their neighbors. Like, what are we even doing here if we're not helping the supporter section or kind of being a part of it? So it's infectious. Cool. Keep it going.
I like it. So this was recommended by Two Balls. I feel like we got to start it over.
We did miss you, Jerry, too. Like your presence is always missed. And your energy, I always
hold on.
I always miss your voice.
Hold on.
Because I listen for it.
Dude, this is a pretty epic beginning.
Oh, POD was like, they paid on death, dude. It's not like they're not about the business.
I don't even want to talk over this. Welcome, Ray. 5'2" from San Diego, California. Jerry. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, Ray Mister is pretty short though. I've met him a couple times, and dude's tiny.
Oh, really? That's dope.
You're 7'2".
To say, for me to say he's tiny, you know he's tiny. Just-
Jerry, I thought you were as tall as me.
shut up, Drew. I hate you.
Nobody's as tall as you, bro.
No
Jerry's,
one.
tall, Jerry is actually 5 feet taller than I am.
You know what I'm
He
gonna
stands
tell
on
you?
my
What my grandma
shoulders.
used to tell me. Whenever people would make fun of me, she would say, "Don't listen to them, because the height is really measured not from the ground to the top of your head, but from the top of your head to the sky." Ah! I was like, "Okay, grandma."
Ooh, damn.
She'd also be like, "That gringo
pulled that
stop
abuela
it, his head
shit,
is
huh?
bald as fuck." But yeah,
Well, dude, I was like, "Yeah, okay, grandma." They're still kicking my ass though,
dude,
but
I want to do the San Diego We Are chant with you on my shoulders at some point, though, in the section. Not when Nitty is there, because she won't let us.
do the what?
The
What?
San Diego We Are chant, but with you on my shoulders, leading the San Diego We Are chant.
I think she would let you.
Okay, it's
Don't
dangerous.
ask her. It's better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission
True.
or whatever
Absolutely.
that's saying. I'm just gonna make up my own sayings, bro. At this point, I don't even care.
Better
Dude.
to ask for Jerry than to ask for Tom.
Rey Mysterio and his son would be rad. Get the tag team in there.
Yeah, I want to crowd surf those dudes too. While we're talking about throwing people up.
Oh man, I want him to 619 freaking Phoenix. Anyways, I feel like we need to have a trapo or something with Rey Mysterio in it. I'm gonna make it happen. I said I would, huh?
Yeah,
I
I
guess you guys
feel
don't do
like
that.
so is next season the like crazy season where just everything flies because we have
Mm.
enough planning and time finally to where the world's not upside down.
Right.
Maybe.
Mhm.
We,
I think
maybe.
that's
we'll
what
have a
can
full
kinda
off
make
season
some
where
of
we
these
can do
dreams
some
come to
cool shit.
fruition. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's what's been hard is just the way of like we didn't even have an off season, right? Off season was like, are we fucking living our lives or not? So like, it's been it's a continual
Yeah.
malaise for most people where sports are honestly a break from. Just
Did you say
like
Blaze?
Richard Blaze of tacos after we win?
Sorry, my brother just played this for me, and I hadn't heard it in a long time, and it just stuck in my head. This is such a good root song. Like, it's such a good reggae song. Anyways, 11608, not too bad, guys, on our podcast. We kind of go over always. But it's okay.
Yeah.
That's because we love the people, and the people want to hear more stuff.
Bro, these people don't do this.
But I do shout out to guests soon. We should have Nicole on to discuss the survey and upcoming surveys as well.
Yes, I agree.
And she was on trivia team tonight, so shout out. We almost won. It's my fault. So which state in the United States that began as a 13th colony,
Mm-hmm.
or one of the 13 colonies, has
Mhm.
under 1 million people? The only
Now?
colony, yes, currently, with under 1 million people as a population.
Oh, damn.
That's a great question.
This is what I talked us out of the answer that I inserted into the conversation that everybody knew better, and
Everybody knew better than what?
you'll find out.
Oh, what? I'm gonna
It's
look
a
it up.
locals trivia.
I'm gonna look it up
group,
right now.
So
No, don't look it up. Guess first. Guess first.
Me guess?
Yeah.
I don't even know the 13 colonies, dude.
it's all
The
the
hell?
East
I don't know.
Coast. It's anything that touches.
know it's all the
Atlantic
East Coast.
Ocean.
Virginia.
It touches the
I'm
Atlantic
gonna
Ocean.
say.
Virginia has over 1 million people, Jerry. You know that.
I'm
Anything
I'm
under
just
1 million
say.
people.
Oh man.
Well, there's the easy answers.
have another guess?
Like,
Old Hampshire, Rhode Island.
Old Hampshire.
no.
Rhode Island was my answer. Travis's in-laws and family have connections.
I'm
to
gonna
Rhode
say
Island
Vermont.
and they're from there. So Vermont was a common answer. Vermont was not one of the 13 colonies, surprisingly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, good
Bernie
job.
Sanders would have issues with this. My answer was Rhode Island, and they pushed back saying, Brown
Maine?
University.
Is it Maine?
No, it's not Maine. It is Delaware.
Really?
Where our president is
Wow.
from. Our current sitting president, Joe Biden, is from
Baltimore doesn't have 1 million people?
not Baltimore. Baltimore's not in Maryland, or Baltimore's in Maryland. Dover is the major city in Delaware. Tell me another city in Delaware. Oh wait.
What?
Oh, Baltimore's in Maryland. Yeah. Yeah, you're
Delaware
right.
is a very small state.
I wasn't aware Delaware was even
No,
13th.
yeah, Rhode Island. Rhode Island has, has Providence. It has Newport. You know, there's several major cities in Rhode Island. So I fucked that one up by talking our team out of Delaware. That was my fault. I did give us the answer on what 1994 skit birthed Good Burger.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing, though.
Was all that. But,
totally interrupting you, dude. I'm so
no,
sorry.
it's trivia knowledge that nobody ever needed.
The British, if they would have won, all 13 would have had less than $1 million. That's all I'm gonna say. And yes,
True.
Nick, they're all traitors to the crown.
They would have painted with all colors of Ben Jerry. 2 balls.
Fighting country.
Win. 2 balls. I got your logo right here. Boom. 2 balls.
Nice.
I'll kick off.
2 balls in a Delaware.
Put 2 balls in a
2
Delaware
balls in
there.
a Delaware.
There you go.
Delaware.
But what was your first concert, Jerry? Jerry, what was your first? Actually, I had a great question. Actually, which is, I was listening to some British people describe the hottest they've ever been in their lives, which I thought was funny. One of them was like, I went to I drove through Death Valley once, and like it was so hot that I had to like get out of my car and just see how hot it was. And he got back in my car like 2 minutes later. What's the hottest you've ever been, Steve? We'll go to Jerry last.
Yeah, that's
he'll have the best answer.
Yes.
The hottest I've ever been?
The hottest you've ever been in your entire life. Like, what was the like moment in your life you're like, this is the hot? When you think of like immense heat, what's the thing your brain flashes on, either first or second, that's like the deep core memory?
He's thinking.
I think I would have to say I was in Nashville for the 2017 Gold Cup, the U.S. men's national team versus Costa Rica, I think it was. Nashville in late July, and we were in the dead of heat, sun the entire match, and I think I lost about 5 pounds that game. I think it was about 100 degrees, 90% humidity. That's probably the hottest I can remember off the top of my head.
I will say a shout out to Dignity Sports Park or whatever it's called now, Home Depot Center. Then when we watched the American game versus, I don't even know who we played, but it was Nate Wiggins and I first road trip with AO, and it was like that was hot. It was not as hot as my hottest memory, which was being in Arkansas when the last time the cicada were breeding in 2006, and it was 115 or 120 degrees. Air temp, and it was 98 or 95% humidity. That's the hottest I've ever been in my life, because you're just hearing these cicada deafening in your ears. And it was like I wasn't in Arkansas for fun. I was there actually to help people with very poor, like the poorest economic people in the country, and like helping them on like a project to like rebuild and help with maintenance on homes and stuff like that. And like a Habitat for Humanity type of thing. And it was like, holy shit. There's a picture of me where I'm like white because we were painting a house white, and like I painted some of it on my face, but I just look like I'm pale, like without life. Thermometer on my lap. I'll have to dig it up at some point, but it was like, some point in high school, and that was fucking hot. That was the hottest I've ever been, because it's just the humidity plus the heat. And several desert days have been like that, with the dry heat where it's immense, but that was the worst I've ever experienced, was that, just plus the mental element of like facing cicada head on, like in the worst part of the country for cicada, which is Arkansas, which is like the river delta for the Mississippi. If anybody doesn't know, it's like where the giant river filters through Arkansas and makes this like trashy soil that makes it really tough to grow stuff. So economically they have a very hard time of maintaining land and cities and stuff like that. So it's really a tough thing in America when you think about California was dealt this beautiful hand of like resources, but at the same time other states that are not as resource rich, which is always tough. Jerry, your story is going to be way better than mine.
You guys didn't give any temperatures or nothing, so I mean, I can actually
100, probably like 100. It was at least 110 degrees.
But when you're in
95% humidity.
Ugh, that's gross.
Yeah, with cicadas.
So I have two actually because I don't know which one.
But it was just like the worst I've ever.
No, I don't even know if it's like. Yeah. I mean, I guess the worst. I mean, I can give you two though. I'm gonna tell you my second to worst first because it's interesting. There is a heat wave that was terrible, and I grew up in Imperial Valley. I was born in El Centro, and so we lived in Holtville. It's a little tiny farm town, and it was a heat wave coming through, and it hit 126.
Jesus,
it was terrible.
Like Jerry's perception of heat and my perception of heat are like two different things. That's what I'm saying.
That's second worst, by the way. I said that right.
That's crazy.
So when I started plumbing, we were doing a repipe in Rancho San Diego. I don't think it's called Palm Pacifica anymore, but there's these like condos over there.
Yeah, where the freeway ends.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like on the left hand side, and we were redoing all their water lines, and it was about 110 outside, but we were in the attic soldering. And the soldering, in case you guys didn't know, we solder with acetylene tanks, and in order to solder, it can be from anywhere between like 350 degrees to 600 degrees of heat coming from the torch to solder. So I would add at least maybe another I want to say 50 degrees inside of an attic, and it was 110 outside. That literally every 10 minutes had to stop and take a huge gulp of water. Oh, and otherwise you couldn't continue because it was just, we had somebody pass out that day. And I mean, we did that for weeks because this is the entire building, and it was a building after building after building. So that was my introduction to plumbing when I started. That was actually me as an apprentice. It was
wow.
I survived that, and everybody.
All right,
like, he's still like, yeah, I'll do this job.
Yeah,
Jesus.
So yeah, that's my story.
I had something kind of like that, but it's like this is my second hottest I've ever felt in my life. But it wasn't one moment. It was actually 3 weeks a few months in Austin, Texas, which was the longest stretch of triple digits that the state's seen in recent times before this current meltdown they had this summer.
Right.
Actually early this year.
It's getting hot.
Dude, loosen up. It's getting hot. But I watched birds die. It was really sad. But I was in Texas, and it was just so hot. I touched down. It was over 100 degrees, and I left a few weeks later, and then came back, and then left again, and it was always over 100 degrees the whole time. And there's no water, and it was completely dry, and there was a ton of fires, and it was really scary. But at the same time, it was a beautiful city, and people were actually really nice, and it was really fun to go out. But at the same time, it was just like the worst drought that, like, kind of like we've seen in recent years. Sometimes really weird, but it really odd kind of thing where you're just constantly feeling like, even you get in a pool that was I was in like a long-term hotel, Steve, like you've been in for your job sometimes, where you're just like, I'm gonna go in a pool at night just for some respite, like Phoenix or in my case Austin, and like the pool is still 85 fucking degrees.
I know.
It's not. Yeah.
Lydia, my wife is from Michigan, right? And we went back to Michigan many years ago. And you shower in the morning to like get ready for the day, and your hair doesn't dry all day because it's so humid, right? You just feel like you never dry off.
You never go to the shower. Yeah, you never walk out of the bathroom.
Yeah, and it's still like 95 degrees outside, and it's like 98% humidity, and you're just like
everywhere.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. We are lucky to live where we live. I'll say that.
The beaches there are beautiful. There's certain situations that are great, but yeah, it is interesting. Like the perfectness of where we live is great. It's here in like the northwest coast of Italy. It's like those are the two places that are like impervious of like shitty wildlife that make your life terrible, but also like a perfect climate to where it's like mostly great most of the year, and really only hot in like August. Really, really hot in July and August. Besides that, not that bad. Like it's us and them, like in the whole world. I don't. Is there where else is this ideal? I don't know.
We may
Some
have
parts of
lost.
the rainforest, maybe.
We may have lost to Phoenix 1-0, but we get to stay here.
That's what I kept saying when they were walking on the stadium. I was like, we still live here. They have to go back to that shit. We were waving goodbye to them. We borrowed some waters when we. Full disclosure, when we kind of clean up our parking lot afterwards, not that this is an invitation, but we sometimes run into the opposing team leaving for their exit charter to their bus, the same way that they come in during the parking lot. And you can sometimes wave hello as they come into town, into the stadium. So sometimes we'll run into them, and usually we're very gracious and say thank you for the game, win or lose. Hey, thanks for playing here. Thank you for coming. We appreciate the way you played. And so, you know, a few of us were really dry and asked them for waters, and they actually obliged. Their trainers handed us waters out of their bags, and were very nice. But it is always kind of funny to have that interaction. A little bit of like,
what was this?
This is when we were walking back to clean up the parking lot
in Phoenix.
Yeah, yeah, and this is where it's like, you know, they're, even if it's a rivalry, people are people. Humans are humans. They're humans with water. We need water. Trainers, you know, and. It's always funny to see, but it's one of those things where,
hey guys, I know we hate you,
cool.
but can we have some
yeah,
water?
they're cool, and
they were cool people,
you know. But at the end of the day, it's like I looked at them still looking at like, you know, I don't need to be an asshole even if they won, because they still have to go back to Chandler and they want to be here. They don't want to leave.
No,
it's like, oh, a minute I can spend not on the bus going back to Phoenix. Yeah, I'd rather be off the bus standing here giving you a water.
They were so happy in Little Italy. Like, they were so stoked.
I'm sure they enjoy their time here. They love playing here. I'm sure they love it. Even their fans, I'm sure, love being here, except for cussing out our post-game hosts.
You think they're like in the beach, you know, like in their shorts, just like having a grand old time going, dude, I hate this place. Like, this is
so much, but I hate to hate it. I love to hate it so much.
I doubt it. I doubt it. Whereas we are over there like, you know,
they're like, why didn't you travel here? It's like, because we don't want to go there, because it's not a vacation. It's like traveling to the third circle of hell.
Why don't you guys show up? Why don't your supporters come over here? Because we don't fucking want to.
Well, number one, you moved out of the city. You're in Chandler now, so we don't want to go to Chandler. That's part of it. Yeah, but if they really want to have this discussion, it's a few dudes in a bucket hat. As far as I'm concerned, that's their entire supporter section. It's like 1 to 2 bucket hats is their traveling guys. So they did a good job of showing up with a banner that was probably a guy faking pregnancy. I don't know how they got it in there, but yeah.
No, dude, they're hooligans. So
yeah,
dude,
we'll see.
Hey, I saw the volunteer patch, Steve.
It's a really good patch.
Sick.
Patches.
It's amazing. We're gonna call it a night though, because I have to go to work. Drew has to go to work. Steve has to go to work. I have to go to work. Everybody go to work.
I have a lot of work.
You can go to bed. Don't go to work yet. Go to work. I mean, go to sleep.
And then Thursday is gonna be fun.
Then go to Thursday, a couple of days. We'll see you guys. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you guys for hanging out, all 9 of you. We'll see you on Thursday at Canadi Barrel. Bye.
Bye.